Today we're going to take a look step by step at 5 tips you can use to instantly improve your drone footage. And I use these tips all of the time to level up my own clips. Take them from, yeah, they look okay, to, whoa, them clips look amazing. Some of these tips are as simple as moving one slider on your video editing software, and others are a little bit more advanced but give incredible results. But don't worry, I'm going to guide you through how to do each one of these tips so that you can follow along. So, let's jump right in. Now, if you're new around here, my name's Matthew and I make videos on how to get more cinematic footage and better images with your drone. So if you want to see videos like the best settings you should use to get incredible results from your drone, tips and tricks and more, then I recommend that you click that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is checked so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Now, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at tip number 1. So I've loaded up my video editing software of choice, which is Adobe Premiere Pro, but don't worry, if you use different video editing software to Adobe Premiere Pro, you will still be able to do all these tips on that software. Now I'm going to be showing you the locations of the sliders where you need to make adjustments specifically for this piece of software. But if you're using a different video editing software, then options will most likely be available to you. You'll just need to go looking for them in a slightly different area. Now the first thing I recommend you do on all your drone clips that will just bring them to life and instantly improve them is increase vibrance and saturation. And I do it on all my drone clips. Now, as you know, I'm a huge advocate of the normal color profile that comes out of drones such as the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I use it for 99% of the clips I capture, but something I nearly always do to them clips is increase the vibrance and saturation. So if we take a look at this first clip here, this top-down shot, you can see it turned out really well. I was really happy with this clip, but the blues and greens are just lagging slightly. So let's improve that with an increase in saturation. So to do that on Adobe Premiere Pro, you want to go up to where it says the metric color, and then you want to scroll down to the creative tab. If this isn't open, if you see the basic correction tab open, just go down to where it says creative and then click, and you will see the creative tab open up. And then we want to increase the vibrance and saturation using these sliders here. Now there's no set value, every clip will be different, and you just want to increase and decrease these sliders until you get an image that you're happy with. So as you can see, that took a few seconds, but just look at the dramatic difference increasing that vibrance and saturation has made to this clip. So here's another top-down shot, but as you can see, the greens and blues to my eye again are just a little bit lagging. So going back over to the metric color, I can increase vibrance and saturation until I get an image that I'm happy with. Now here's a good example of why there's no set value for all your clips. Each clip requires a different amount of vibrance and saturation boost. To get this clip to where I'm happy, and as you can see in this before and after, again, a huge difference has been made. You can see I've used the vibrance value of 6 and saturation of 113. But if I look at my first clip, you can see this required a lot more. The vibrance was 13 and the saturation was 129. So it's really just about playing about with the vibrance and saturation sliders until you get an image that you're happy with. Now if we take a look at this last clip, I'm super happy with how this clip turned out because this little boat came into view at just the right time and started circling the island. But it was quite a dull day, and as you can see, the blues nearly look grey on this video and the greens are just, yeah, they're really dull and lagging, but we can instantly fix that with the vibrance and saturation sliders. So I'm just going to drag up the vibrance and increase the saturation again until I get an image that I'm happy with. And as you can see, when I hit play, just look at the difference this couple of second change has made to this piece of footage. So that's tip number 1. Always increase vibrance and saturation. So tip number 2 is a little bit of a trade secret. It's something I've been doing for years and works so well. And is a bit of a hack that allows you to remove unwanted people or even objects from your clips. So maybe you've went to a location and it was just super touristy and there was no time that you could record a clip without there people being in it. Or you just didn't realize, maybe you left yourself in the clip and when you've come back and watched it in the computer, you thought, that would look so much better if I could remove myself from it. Well, using this tip, you can do just that. Now, this will work for 90% of the clips you take. It doesn't work for them all. It works best if you're standing in an area, or the person you want to remove is standing on an area that isn't very complex, you know, is a simple texture such as the grass on this clip. And it's one of them little hacks that if no one pointed it out to you that it was done, you would never realize there was anyone there. So let's take a look at this first clip. If I hit play, you can see this is quite a nice shot, but it would be better if I could remove myself from it because I'm just standing there. It would look more remote and more epic if I wasn't in the clip. Well, we can do just that. So the first thing you want to do is go back to the start of the clip, and then we want to duplicate this clip so that we have two, the second one being above the first. So I'm going to click the clip and I'm going to press Ctrl+C on my keyboard to copy it, or you can right click on the clip and go up to copy. And then I'm going to paste the clip again by pressing Ctrl+V, or you can go up to edit and click paste. Then you're going to drag that clip above the first one. So we now have two layers in our timeline of the same clip. Now going back to the start, I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit so I can see myself better. So I'm going to go to 150% zoom on my preview player. And then with the second clip selected, I'm going to go up to the free draw tool. Now with that selected, what you want to do is you want to draw a box next to the people you want to remove. So I'm just going to draw quite a nice large box here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to slide that area of the image over the top of the people we want to remove, in this case ourselves. So to do that, again with that second layer selected, you want to go up to the position and you want to move that, in this case, to the left. And you can see that I've slid that over the top of myself. Now, if I bring the zoom of the preview back out, you can see that it's quite obvious that we've slid that portion of the grass over ourselves. But this is where a really useful feature comes in called mask filler, which allows us to filler the edges of the mask. So going back up to the mask, where it says mask filler, you want to start increasing this until you get to a value where you can no longer really see the edges of that mask. Now you don't want to do this too much. If you increase that filler too much, what you'll see is that it fillers it so much that you can start to see yourself come back through that layer. So you just want to play about with this value until you get something that blurs them edges enough that it's not noticeable anymore. Now this looks great, but if I hit play, you'll see there is a problem. As the video starts to get near the end of the clip, what you'll see happen is ourselves, or the people you're trying to remove, will pop out the bottom of that mask. So you can see our feet starting to come out here. So how do we fix that? Well, to do that, we're going to use something called keyframes. Now what keyframes allow you to do is set certain positions for that mask at different points of the video so that we can keep it on top of ourselves at all time. Super simple to do in Premiere Pro. With the second clip selected, you want to go up and under the mask option, next to mask path, you want to click this little toggle animation button. And by clicking that, what you've just done is not only turned on keyframes, but also recorded the position for this mask at this point in the video. Then what you want to do is you want to go forward a few seconds and you want to move that mask to make sure it's on top of the people you want to remove again. Now, what you can do to make sure that you've got them perfectly in the center of that mask is remove the mask from the area. You can see the people again and then bring the mask back so that it's centered over the top of them. And what you'll see happen when you do that is you'll see another keyframe point has been recorded up here in our timeline. So again, we'll go forward a few seconds, I'll move the mask out of the way and I'll put it back just to make sure that it's directly over the top of them. I'll go forward a few more seconds, bring it back, make sure it's centered over the top of them. And then I'll go to the end of the video and again, I'll just make sure that it's centered over the top. And you'll see all these keyframes have been added to our timeline. And now what will happen is if I go back to the start and hit play, you'll see that that mask stays on top of the people, in this case ourselves, at all time, and at no point in time do we appear out of the side or bottom of it. And you can see what this has done is essentially removed us from this image. Now this method is super powerful and you can use it to remove more than one group of people in a clip. If you take a look at this example, you can see there's multiple groups of people because this was a touristy area. And using this technique, and doing it multiple times, I removed basically them all from this clip to clean it up entirely. So there's a super quick hack and a super awesome tip that you can use to remove people from your clips. Now tip number 3 is going to help you get better looking skies in your drone footage, and again this is a method that I use on all my clips and it makes a dramatic difference. So maybe you have come back and you're looking at a clip and you think the foreground looks a little bit too dark, but when you tried brightening it up, what you find happened is the sky went all white and you lost all the detail in it. Well, using this method, you don't need to make that compromise. You can independently control the exposure of your sky and foreground. Let me show you what I mean. So looking at this first clip of Elephant Rock, because it looks like an elephant, you can see that the foreground is a little bit too dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up that exposure until I get it to a level I'm happy with. You can see now at this exposure level, you can see a lot more detail of Elephant Rock. Now I'm just quickly going to go into creative and I'm going to bring up the vibrance and saturation as mentioned in the first clip. And you can see this foreground is now looking really good. If I hide them color grades and reapply them, you can see this makes a dramatic difference. But in doing so, we've lost all that information in the sky. So let's bring it back using a sky mask. Just like how we done in the second tip when we were removing people, we're going to duplicate this layer by selecting it, pressing Ctrl C, then pressing Ctrl V and dragging it above the first clip so that we now have 2 of the same clips. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the second clip and remove that color grade. So you can see that's brought back the sky, but we've lost the color grading that we applied to the foreground. What we want to do is we want this second layer to only be off the sky. And we're going to do that by masking it out. So using the same mask tool that again we used to remove people in the second tip, I'm going to go over to the free draw tool. And with that selected, I'm going to draw a diagonal across the sky. Then I'm going to go to the top right, click, top left, click, and then finish off the box. So now you can see that we've got this second layer only affecting the sky. But if I hide the mask, you can see it's very obvious that we've masked out that sky area. So how do we make this less noticeable? Well, we're going to use the filtering option again. Now here's a top tip. What I recommend you do is that you drag these edges of your sky mask off the end of the preview screen before you do the filler. Because if you leave them too close to the edges, the sides of your sky will also get fillered and you'll start to get this really noticeable box effect. So make sure you've dragged them off the edge of your preview window and then start to increase this mask filler option until you get to a value where that edge of the mask is no longer noticeable. And now if I click off this, you can see that we've got a great looking foreground that's exposed really nicely and we've got all that information back in our sky. And this is how you can use a sky mask to get the best of both worlds when it comes to exposure. Tip 4 is a super simple tip that you can use to make sure your points of interest are always centered on your drone clip. Maybe you were ever so slightly off when you were doing an orbit around a point of interest and you've come back, watched the clip, and because the point of interest is ever so slightly off center, it's quite distracting and it's ruining your clip. Well, here's a super simple way that you can fix that. So the first thing we need to do is work out where the center of this clip is, and we're going to do that by using a grid line. So what you want to do is you want to go down and where you see the grid lines button, you want to select this to turn it on. Now we've got no grid lines added, so we need to add a grid line on the center of our preview. So to do that, you want to go up to View, and then you want to go down to Add Guide. Now on here, you want the position to be 50 and the units to be percent. So our grid line will go 50% into our video preview, which is the center. And you can do this from either the left or right, but it's super important that the orientation is vertical. Then hit OK. So now you can see that we have a line down the center of our clip. And if I hit play, you can see we are quite clearly off center. Now, if I was to move this clip over to the left by going up to the position options and simply moving this to the left so that our point of interest was centered, you can see that this black bar appears down the right side of our video. Because we're moving the whole video over, there's nothing more to the right side of that video, so we're getting this black bar. So if I reset that position, how do we fix this? Well, here's the tip. I find that you can actually scale up your 4K videos to around 110%, and it isn't noticeable at all. And that gives us more video to the right and left to be able to move our clip around to make sure we've framed the point of interest in the center. So to do that, you want to go up to your scale value and you want to set this to 110%. And now if I drag the clip over to the left, you can see we've got that extra video over to the right so that we don't get this black line down the side. And now if I hit play, you can see our point of interest is perfectly centered. Now the next tip is something I like to call an advanced vignette. Now vignetting is when you darken around the edges of a video clip to draw the viewer's eyes into the center, into your point of interest. And when used subtly, I think they really enhance a video clip. But an advanced vignette is when you use masking to really center in on your point of interest. And the nice thing with this method is, it doesn't matter if your point of interest isn't centered, you can still use a vignette for it. So let me show you what I mean and how I do it. Here we have another clip of that epic location, Mur Hall. And I just think this clip would look a lot better if there was a vignette just to draw the viewer's eyes to the building. So we're going to do this by using the mask tools again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that clip, paste it and drag it above the first clip as we've done so many times with the tips in this video. And then with the second clip selected, I'm going to go up to the masking tool, but this time I'm not going to select the free draw tool. I'm going to select the create ellipse mask. Now when you do this, you can see we've created this circle. Now I'm just going to drag the end of that circle out and lower its height a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to resize this circle until it's around your point of interest. Then you want to select the inverted option, and then you want to feather the edges, and you want to feather it quite a lot. Now with that done, what you want to do is you want to go over to your Lumetri color and you want to bring the exposure down. Now this is again is going to be personal taste, but my tip is to make this as subtle as possible. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit, and then when I click off, you can see what we've done is we've created this vignette around the building, really drawing your eye to it. You can see this makes a subtle, but in my opinion, dramatic difference and really improves this clip and makes that building stand out so much more. So there you have it, 5 quick tips that you can use to really elevate your drone footage to the next level, and I hope these help you get better looking clips with your drone. Now, if you like this video and you learned something new, please let me know by giving me the thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. And if you love all things drones and want to know how to get more cinematic videos and better images with your drone, then I recommend you check out my channel where I have a ton of other content to help you level up your drone game. Make sure to subscribe and make sure that notification bell is ticked so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want to stick around and see a few more of them now, here's a few I personally recommend. I'll not keep you back any further. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you over there.